When your husband doesn't respect you, he sneers at you when you're talking or doesn't bother to answer you when you're saying something important, what about how to get respect? Break out of the cycle of feeling disrespected by your husband and just let him have it. Let's talk about what to do when your husband doesn't respect you, because it feels really bad when the man who promised to love, honor, and cherish you for life just doesn't seem to be doing that. He sneers at you when you're talking or takes sides with the kids or doesn't bother to answer you when you're saying something important. Or if he makes demands or criticizes you, well, that's so hurtful and insulting. You start to feel like you're always on guard to protect yourself, and that's tiring. And how is it ever going to improve when he's just getting ruder and more dismissive? It's scary to think about spending the rest of your life with someone who is so disrespectful. We talk a lot about how to be respectful on this podcast, but what about how to get respect? Here's a powerful way to break out of the cycle of feeling disrespected by your husband and create a new culture at your house. You ready? Here's the experiment you can try. Let him know when you're hurt. Let him know when you're hurt. And you might think, oh, I let him know when I'm hurt. I've told him how upset I am and how rude he's being and how disrespectful he is. I've told him lots of times, and it's not working at all. That's what I did too. And it didn't improve things around here either until I learned a tweak that I'm going to show you right now. It turns out I wasn't letting him know I was hurt. I was telling him that he hurt me. I was blaming him for blaming me and criticizing him for criticizing me. And I wasn't being vulnerable. So he didn't see me as needing protection or tenderness. I'd already solved any problems I was having by launching a counterattack at him. So he didn't think I needed his help. He was too busy trying to defend himself from my verbal punches to protect me or care for me anyway. I don't know of any payoff or benefit to telling my husband that he hurt me, except for satisfying my desire as a mere mortal woman to punish him. My desire to make him pay for hurting me felt as tempting as a fresh bread bowl at the dinner table, but it was a counterfeit. It was a lie. I mean, there was a fleeting moment of human satisfaction in telling him he hurt me, followed by a blow up and an emotional hangover, and then a Cold War at my house. It wasn't until I learned to stop jumping off of my paper and onto his paper by telling him what he was doing wrong and just stayed with myself by saying, ouch, that I got a completely different and much better response from my husband. Here's why this cheat phrase is so powerful. Ouch does not mean you hurt me. Ouch only means I hurt. That's it. I hurt. And this may sound ridiculously subtle, this difference I'm trying to make, but I love this distinction because it's been so empowering for me. There's no blame or criticism in ouch. When I say it, I'm just slowing down to tend to my own painful feelings, which it turns out I'm responsible for. But what if I'm hurt because my husband was just incredibly rude, right? Well, that used to happen around here. But check it out. My superpower of being able to respond with a dignified ouch was such a stark contrast to his disrespectful words that instead of fueling a fight, it brought the angry train to a screeching halt. Saying ouch also often had the effect of eliciting an apology. An apology. And his tenderness. The very things I wanted so much when I was telling him how disrespectful and rude he was being. I admit, though, it wasn't easy at first to summon an ouch when my instincts were telling me, like, just let him have it. But going to battle with my husband like that was not only unpleasant. It meant I didn't have any time to tend to my feelings, which meant my ouchy wounds were left to fester instead of getting the attention from me that they deserve. There's so much mutual respect and emotional safety at my house now that I rarely reach for an ouch, rarely need to. Cleaning up my side of the street and learning what respect looks like to my husband helped a lot with that. But so did honoring myself by saying, ouch, with my husband, with my friends, my family, my colleagues, instead of going to battle. That has made me more resilient. There's a lot of inner strength in knowing that I can stay with myself when I'm hurt. So no matter what the circumstances are, I'm not going to leave me. These days, it's hard to imagine feeling disrespected by my husband or anyone else for that matter, even my worst critics. I still have tender spots on me that get triggered like any mere mortal woman. I was pained recently by my dad noticing that I have a cluster of blonde hair on my chin and asking if I was lacking estrogen. Ouch. He didn't mean to hurt me, but he hit a tender spot. Can't we just pretend I am still in my 40s and that I don't have hair growing in unsightly places, please? The truth hurts, but that's on me. And somehow, the simple act of respecting my own feelings by pausing to say ouch when I feel hurt has made me feel more respected everywhere I go. It's almost like I'm bringing my own self-respect, which everyone else responds to. So it's interesting to think about what might happen if you experiment with using the word ouch when you feel disrespected by your husband or by your mom or your kids or anyone else who seems to put pressure on your tender spots, like slapping you on the back when you're already sunburned. Will saying ouch make you feel more confident and resilient also? Well, as the expert on your own life, only you know what's best in your situation. For more of the proven secrets on how to make your marriage playful and passionate without his conscious effort, check this out.